Well, good afternoon, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Taco Tuesday, and I hope all your taco dreams come true. Out and about running some errands, trying to get these Christmas lights and things together. There's always so much to do, no matter how much you get done. So, I've got a question in my mind. After listening to Jerry Jones, last week after the Cowboys got their win over Washington, Jerry was asked the question about Mike McCarthy and, if it's a possibility that he would be coming back. Dan Graziano, is being quoted as yesterday saying that regardless of the team's success, that they will be probably moving on from Mike McCarthy. And so all of this is speculation and up to Jerry Jones and his mind on what they do. Nobody knows what Jerry Jones really plans on doing or so on. He likes it that way. He likes to keep you guessing. But the question is, when you start looking around at changes of coaches and things, and, we've seen so many of the young, hot candidates that are out there that are getting jobs and things, do you look at this and say, let's roll the dice on Mike McCarthy? Roll the dice on bringing in somebody to replace Mike McCarthy? Or do you deal with the devil you know? And the bigger question I have to ask is this. Because for me, I'll make mistakes. I'll be the first one to admit that I make mistakes. It's not so much making the mistake, it's making the same mistake over. If you make a mistake, hopefully you learn from it, from your, things that you've done that just haven't worked out, and that maybe, just maybe, you'll do better the next go round. That's the hope that you have. But, and this is where I wonder if the Cowboys retrospectively will look back and say, we've made mistakes in thinking that we can just turn over the roster, we can let go 9 starters and still turn around and be, a Super Bowl contender. Do they learn from that and say, yeah, maybe the thought process of, we need tweeners to cover for where we fuck up? Where you say, Tyrone Crawford, we like him because he'll do the dirty work, as in being a defensive tackle or playing defensive end, that he can do both things, but understanding that he's not great at either one. It's nice that you can play 2 positions, but I need a specialist that's going to be above average, because you can't just be average and think that you're going to win a Super Bowl. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. You have to be really good at everything. And understanding that the Cowboys are going to have a lot of players that are going to be gone this offseason. You got to look at places like Zach Martin and Frank Tank Lawrence that are going to be gone and so forth. And you have to look and say, did we make a mistake with Tyler Guyton? Should he be on the right side? Do we need to reshuffle the line so that way we have Tyler Smith as a left tackle and have to pay him as a left tackle as opposed to a guard? In which case, do we use Brock Hoffman, as Brock Hoffman go to be the center and Cooper Beebe goes in there? Or do we go out here and look and say, let's spend legitimate money to get a good starting left tackle? Because the mistake that was made with Dak Prescott is, people will say, you got to get rid of Dak because he needs a talent around him. Well, very rarely do you see a team that doesn't have elite talent winning a Super Bowl. We've seen teams with elite talent fall short on a regular. And I can say the 49ers and the Eagles were 2 teams that were talent-laden, that got there at least, but fell short. So will the Cowboys now look and say, we don't want just a journeyman starter, we want somebody who is above board? And will they finally decide to open up the purse strings? Because the philosophy of Stephen Jones' whole thing that we believe in our guys, where we're trying to sell you that everybody that we have is about to break out and be a great player. I recall hearing a couple of years ago that when we got rid of Amari Cooper, that Jalen Tolbert, you won't basically miss Amari Cooper. Jalen Tolbert, he's made a few good plays here and there, but he ain't anywhere near Amari Cooper. And when we go through and we plug in and say we're okay with a guy who's been a practice squad guy or a part-time player, that he's ready to step into the breach and be a great one. Like when we hear, when that Ryan Fenoy, when he gets on the field, I can't wait to see his first catch, making you think that he's Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins. That these things are things that are hampering us to win. So I don't have a problem with Dak Prescott being my quarterback. I don't have a problem with Mike McCarthy being my coach. But I need to have my front office there to support those guys to make them the best team that they can be. That lies the real problem with the Cowboys, is we don't do enough to support the people who are here to help us win. So whether it's Dak Prescott and recognizing, people will say, well, Cooper Rush, he's playing better than Dak Prescott. I say, you know what? We played the Giants. We got a pick six, okay? We got a running back who finally ran over 100 yards. The offensive line finally gelled for a game. And we got a win, a team win, a defense that played better. If you want to think that it's all Cooper Rush, by all means, go ahead. But if you think that what we did this past week is getting us to the Super Bowl, like I had literally somebody say to me, well, if Cooper Rush takes us to the Super Bowl, he gonna be the starter. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna leave you right there, buddy. There's no sense in me even talking to you anymore on that one, because beating the Giants does not equate going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm hesitant to talk about playoffs, but the Cowboys have to learn from their mistakes and accept the fact that they made them. Jerry Jones right now is feeling himself like, and this is the bad thing about winning a few games going down the stretch. They're going to say, we're real close, and all we have to do is keep doing what we're doing, and one of these times we're going to break through. Such is the life of a Dallas Cowboy fan. Such is the life. Alrighty, good people. I actually have some good news, I think. I think it's good news. But I'll talk about it later. Peace.